How's everybody doing? I figured we would wreck this thing. Wrecking it good. No fancy intros, none of that stuff. So, but good times. Glad a couple of you guys are in here. Oh, Keith. Yeah, Arduino Uno. Actually, there's a good a guy that's making a controller with an Arduino Uno specifically. Designs by Phil. He's making a he calls it the Demon, and it's a good setup. Actually, I have one of the boards here for it, so it that's what the shield looks like, and it fits right onto an Arduino Uno. And you can either just get this, or you can get a whole, shebang, and it's pretty cool. He originally designed it for use with like the X-Carve and all that, but I mean you can hook anything up into it these days. So, but yeah, it's a good one to use for if you want to use an Uno. Check it out. Let's see here. What else we got in here? We got Jim, good old Jim Sinicola. Laser module didn't work. Laser module didn't work with Mach 3. I don't know why it wouldn't, but I don't know Mach 3. So, but yeah, with the Raspberry Pi or Arduino, works really good. So you can mess with that. Let's see here. Who else is in here? Oh, we got Troy. Troy's in here. Hey, Troy, Mike. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And I was thinking like what to do with this is do like a monthly show of some of the CNC stuff that is like videos or news that revolves around our world. Probably not the greatest month to do this because there's not a ton of CNC router stuff. You'll see some of the stuff I'll talk about tonight. It's kind of 3D printing heavy, but I kind of wanted to, it's all the same stuff, really. I mean, we got lasers, we got 3D printers, we got routers, plasma. It's all just cutting up the same stuff or cutting up different stuff with the same materials. So yeah, so I was hoping to do this like once a month would be kind of cool. And maybe we'll talk about an occasional rumor. Maybe we'll have some guests on sometime or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's Mr. Dave Gatton himself. Hey, Dave. And there's Bruce, all from the Philippines. Hey, there you go. Mark and Hobby follower. Good deal. Well, thanks. Welcome. And see how see what we can get done here. Finally have real internet here at the house. So it's I'm not using my phone to be on like Dave's show and stuff now. I actually have real internet to play with. And so far it's been pretty good. It only took 11 months to get internet here at my house from next door, and I can look out the window. It's right there, right next to me, and I can see my neighbor's house where the internet was. So why it took 11 months, I don't know. They're ridiculously slow people. But anyway, we got it now, so that's all that's important. And so we'll have fun with it and see what happens. See how much of a dumpster fire we can make this. If everybody can hear me okay, I think the mics were checking the mic level. It seemed to be okay, but just throw me a yeah, that'd be great. But anyway, so as you can tell, we're using this free version of StreamYard. We don't make money on this channel, so we got to use free stuff. So we don't have any fancy cards to get put up here. But so first one, first channel I wanted to talk about tonight. Here's how ridiculous it's going to get. Hey, here's my iPad. There's the card. Yep, teaching tech. Oh man, where'd it go? See, look at this. It's a freaking disaster already. Teaching tech. There's Michael. He does a lot of mainly 3D printing stuff, and he's in Australia, I believe. He was recently even featured on one of the Mighty Car Mods videos for a project that they were working on. If you're familiar with those guys. But anyway, he does. Yeah, like I said, he does mainly stuff is around 3D printing. But yesterday he did a nice video on 3D printing troubleshooting. He actually set up a website for that, and it's you can get to that from his YouTube channel. And it goes through like a lot of your common problems and stuff like that, steps missing and all that good stuff. It's pretty cool. But also, he also has a mispronounce this horribly, but Jinmitsu 3018 CNC. It's basically just a little. It's a $200 CNC. I mean the bet on it is like this. It's not very much. And he just recently did a upgrade set to it because it actually came with a small spindle and such. He did an upgrade to a Dremel. It was pretty, but the thing I found really interesting that he was using on it is he was using these small closed loop steppers. So even though it's a belt driven system, you could push it and it would come right back to where you left it. And it was pretty neat setup. So I definitely would recommend going to check that out. So that once again, we don't have fancy cards to put up here on the screen. We got an iPad that gets washed out in the screen. So there you go, teaching tech. So check her out. So fun times with that one. All right, next one we're going to talk about is Fisher Shop. I'm sure most of the people on this group here watching are familiar with Fisher Shop. I love his sense of humor, the very dry and self-deprecating, as you can tell by this dumpster fire. Oh yeah, oh, here we go. So there's Fisher Shop's YouTube page. There you go. But anyway, he recently got a Onefinity CNC, and for that that CNC, he did a like a folding assembly table for it. So on one side, he actually has the CNC mounted, and then he can flip it over, and it's a assembly table there. So his basement shop is pretty small or tight anyway, and so he's got to make sure he can fold it up and move it around. And it's a really nice design for the table. And the Onefinity, I wasn't familiar with it, but I started looking a little bit at it. It's a interesting machine, screw driven, and it's got like big giant linear bearings on them, so it's a pretty nice looking machine anyway. But anyway, yeah, so Fisher Shop, definitely check that one out. His last video that he actually used the machine on, he was doing a trash can holder for his mom. So it's something that I've actually planned on doing for probably a year and a half. I have the slides for it and everything. I just haven't gotten my butt off the ground to do it. So after watching his video, hopefully it'll inspire me a little bit to get some of that done, and we'll get one put in. So, but he used the CNC to route out his the holes for the trash cans and stuff like that. I mean, it's a basic use of a CNC, but it was, hey, if you got it, might as well use it. So Fisher Shop, good guy. Oh, look at that. We got good old Clyde CNC showed up tonight. Hey, Clyde, how you doing, buddy? Oh, there's David Krause. Nice to see you, David. Thank you for showing up. Let's see here. Andrew Haig. Haig. I always mispronounce your last name, Andrew. I'm sorry, buddy. But thank you. Welcome. let's see here. So let me get my iPad ready. See, this is a disaster. It's horrible. It's too much fun though. Next one. Yo, Mark Lindsay. You gotta give love to Mark Lindsay. Mark Lindsay just recently put out a couple days ago his part 6 for his dedicated CNC shop build. You gotta love Mark. It's actually one of his shorter videos. It's only 20 minutes long, and talking about putting electrical in a shop and where and why stuff is where it's being placed inside. So it's a nice nice video. If you know Mark at all, he's very detailed on and puts a lot of forethought into what he's working on. So I think you can really scale what he's talking about in these videos up to anything, any size, or even reconditioning a space, or that's not the right word. What word am I looking for? Not reconditioning, repurposing. I think it's repurposing. But yeah, it's a nice, putting the outlets up as high as he is on one wall, putting them low on another, doing some future proofing with some 240 volt stuff, or spindles and table saws and stuff like that that he's planning on putting in the future. So definitely check out good old Mark Lindsay and the Killer Stash. I think he needs to change his logo, though. I think he needs to make the logo with the white stash. I think we need to talk to Mark about doing that. He'd probably shoot me. So, but anyway, yeah. So definitely, let's go show Mark some love and make sure you're taking some notes on what he's doing. I know as I'm watching his build of his shop, and especially now with the electrical and stuff like that, I'm taking notes for my shop that's going to be out in the back here as soon as I put some walls and a floor on it. So definitely check it out. Next, kind of like I said before, we're a little bit 3D printing heavy tonight. There's Joel from 3D Printing Nerd. So Joel's been doing this for a long time. He's got a big fan base, and he likes to print things big. Okay, we're gonna do there was an open source 3D printed RC car a couple years back, and so instead of it being this big, he made it like 6 feet long. So and like the trials and tribulations of what happens when you have to make something that large. But anyway, he recently in a live that he did a couple weeks ago, I think it was a couple weeks ago. He was doing a pin plotter on an Ender 3. So that's my Ender 3 right here, and it was a pretty cool setup. So Andrew Sink, which you can check out that YouTube channel. He's actually the guy that created the plotter. It's PLTR. And so if you have an Ender 3 like this, you basically all you're doing is taking off the hot end and screwing this one on. He shows you how to calibrate it and all that good stuff, and get it situated. So so check. And it's only like $6.99. It was really inexpensive to get one. I know especially like on Dave's show, we had there was a time frame where everybody wanted to draw with the CNCs and everything, and this made me think of that. Like it was like, oh, okay, much smaller scale, because I mean that it's not a very big 3D printer, but you can still color some cool stuff with it. But anyway, yeah. So Joel on 3D Printing Nerd, he did like a 2-hour live on getting it set up, getting it working right, and all that. And it was a pretty neat little process. It wasn't too difficult to do. If you want to, get it running, check it out, see what's going on. Like I said, he makes some pretty cool stuff, and usually makes it big. He has a lot of printers, and some of them are really big. I mean, they're big printers, so he can print big things. But yeah, so working good, working good. Oh, there's Mr. Schuster. Mr. Schuster's joined us this evening. Hey, nice to see you, Rob. Thank you for coming in, playing with us for a little bit. And let's see here. Oh yeah, yes, Clyde. Definitely need walls on the pole barn. It was so cold today. Well, the temperature hasn't gotten above freezing the last couple of days since it snowed last time. But it started to, when it gets about 34 degrees Fahrenheit, that's just over zero for you guys. Maybe 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. The snow will melt right off of my solar panels. And so the way that my solar panels are up on the roof, there's like a chunk up from here, and then there's one row that goes across the top that isn't as wide as the rest. Well, what happened was when it started getting warm, it started to slide down, and it slid down about 60 inches, and then it got too cold for it to keep sliding off. And so now it's all frozen back up on there, and it's all, it'll be there for another day or two. I think we're supposed to get some decent weather coming up here pretty soon. So yeah, definitely need to get some walls on that floor. That's big projects for this year, so hopefully we can get that done. It'll be nice, definitely nice. So let's see. Oh, Clyde, you got 14 degrees out there. Man, well, is that Celsius or Fahrenheit? Celsius, that's not bad. Fahrenheit, that's bad. That's pretty cool. Oof. Anyway, all right, let's go. Next one, Frank Howarth. Are you watching Frank Howarth? If you're not, you definitely should. He's got 578,000 subscribers, so you should be one of them too. Frank's been doing some really awesome stuff. He has a dropping stuff, messy desk that you can't see because I aimed the camera, so you can't see the mess. You can see some of it back here, but you can't see what's on the desk. 14 guys here. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll take what we got. It's all good. The 14 more than should be watching this disaster. So, but anyway, back to Frank. Frank Howarth. He's been doing some really cool stuff with his CNC. He has an Avid, a big one, a big giant one, and it has a folding table at the end, and so he can use his and pretty neat doing mainly bowls and stuff like that. Big thing he's been doing recently are these spiky bowls. So he's been taking his the bowls and on this folding down part of his table, mounts it all in there, and then uses the CNC to cut the peg holes for these spiky legs. It's pretty cool. Definitely recommend checking them out. They are it's really neat, his thought process, and his video style is it's mesmerizing. He does a lot of stop motion stuff. I don't understand how you can take that much time to do a video. Like I'd lose my brain. But that's why he's got 578,000 subscribers that watch his stuff, and they're beautiful, beautiful works of art that he does. So good times. Next one we're talking about. There we go. Here's one that you may or may not have heard of. This is Hack Lab. So that's Hack Lab. He's been hacking things his whole life, is his motto. And besides having a good motto, he also has a good name because he shares my name, Ryan. And on top of that, he has a Zeely. So that stupid little Italian car that I have, he's got one too. And that's how I found him. But his other stuff that he's been doing is pretty cool too. He does CNC lasers. He's got a Glowforge. He's got some 3D printers. And then he's been putting together right now a plasma table, CNC plasma table. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some really cool stuff come out of his shop. But yeah, a recent one that he did with his laser was business cards. And he did a gasket style business card, to make it look like an engine gasket. And I need to show this guy a screen share. Oh, Dave, you have to have free. I got the free version, buddy. Free version. If you, well, I guess I could screen share it, but porn. There's no porn on my computer tonight. No, I'm just getting messy. I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna deal with it for now. Definitely deal with it. But anyway, check out Hack Lab. Hack Lab is a cool, a cool channel to check out. Ryan's a good guy, and he's got a weirdo little car like me. His car is pretty cool though. This isn't CNC related, but that's okay. His car he found in the woods, and he paid $2 for it, and then drug it back to his house. So like it didn't have any windows and stuff like that. I don't think it had any. Maybe it had the windshield, but it didn't have a rear window or anything. Half the rear of the car, which isn't much anyway, was all broken out and ripped out. But he put like boosters, like rocket boosters looking things coming out the back window of his car, and it looks pretty funny. It looks like a little spaceship. So definitely give him some checking out and give him some love on that. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're yanking my chain, Dave. You're yanking my chain. Now, hey, here's some. Next one we're going to talk about is got some good news. Well, got some interesting news coming out here with this one. It's in Venables. So with the X-Carve and all that good stuff. So they have their standard X-Carve, and they're coming out with an X-Carve Pro. I don't know much about the Pro except for it's very expensive, and I don't know when they're coming out. Like I think they're supposed to be out by spring or summer. But there's a few YouTube people that have them already, like the pre-production ones, like Jackman Works, which we'll get to him in a minute. But a week ago they did a live event with they talked about Easel, their design program, their free design program, and its ability now. With Easel, you have Easel, and then you have Easel Pro. That's like when you activate extra features other than just regular 2.5D, carving. But anyway, so they talked about now they have the ability. I guess it's supposed to be more simple to do tiling. There's supposed to be a tiling function. They've added onboard a whole bunch more fonts, like a couple hundred fonts. I didn't check out all the fonts and stuff, but it looks like most of it is, when you go to use them, you end up being considered one of the free, or I'm sorry, one of the pro easel features. That's also the same, like if you use their stuff and you're doing a V-carve, that's considered a pro feature. But they've also done like more clip art stuff, but the thing I was seeing on the clip art, again, it was making it a pro feature instead of part of their free stuff. It was just kind of, I didn't really like that, but whatever. But they announced something very interesting for the X-Carve community. X-Carve has now acquired TBD CNC. Anybody that doesn't follow any of that stuff, what TBD did is they were doing for the past several years, I think around 2017-ish or something like that, they started making upgrades for the X-Carve. So they were doing risers to make the Z-axis taller. They were making a stiffer Z, kind of fixing a lot of the issues that the X-Carve had or has, and making it better. So they announced that X-Carve has bought, or Inventables has bought TBD CNC. They didn't really say uh, what that relationship is going to be going forward, like how it's going to work with each other. If he's going to be building, upgrade kits for them, or what the purpose of them buying TBD CNC was. But if you watch the live event, you can tell these folks are not used to talking on any kind of camera or in front of people. It was very highly scripted, and God bless them, because they had to get out in front of, talking to 14, 15 people, something like that. And they were talking to probably thousands of people at that point. So God bless them. They give you the information on it, and they kept on moving forward. So that's it from Inventables. That's some interesting news there that came out of there. Next one we'll talk about. There you go, Dave. That's just for you right there, man. It's Designs by Phil. So Designs by Phil, I mentioned it earlier. They're actually, I became aware of Phil through the X-Carve community. But he builds his own controllers for the CNC for Newbie, New Carve, I believe it's called. But you can also use these controllers on other stuff. They're all Gerbil-based controllers using, like I said before, this little shield that he designed and made for the Arduino Uno, but he sells that, and then he also sells full shebang controller that he ironically prints on Ender 3s. So he's got like a whole bunch of them and all that. Something he's been, some news from him watching his posts on Facebook and stuff, is that he has also now dabbled into getting a resin 3D printer, trying for his controllers and stuff like that. I guess he's working through the pain of trying to get it working the way he wants it to work. So we'll see how that continues in the future here. But yeah, he recently, 2 weeks ago, he did a nice video on UGS for Universal G-Code Center. If you're using that, setting up soft limits. Phil's not really big into production value. He gets his camera in there, tells you what you need to know, and gets out. So it's it's no frills, but it's a lot of really good information. So definitely, if anybody's looking into doing a CNC controller with the Arduino Uno and such like that, check his stuff out. It's really nice quality stuff. So, but good times, good times. That's why I like the Gatton is you build it DIY, even the controller too if you want. Yep, that's right, Clyde. Very true, sir. Very true. So, Gatton, you just can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with the Gatton. So the next one, I actually started talking about him during a little bit during the Inventables ones. Jackman Works. His videos are incredible. This man spends so much time. He must spend more time making and editing his videos than he does actually making any project that he could possibly do. His video skills are, second to none. Latest video he did is doing a wavy shelf accent wall. So it's like a, wavy accent wall. There's no other way really to talk about that. But he uses his X-Carve Pro to do the repeatable, wave designs into. I think he did it all out of ash. Beautiful piece of artwork when it's up on the wall. So great stuff. He's got a new shop that he's been setting up as he moves around the country here and there. So I'm sure at some point he's going to want to stop moving around. I believe his wife is in the military or something like that, and so he is a military spouse and moves around every couple of years. Recently, last year or year before, I think he's been up north now for a while, but he was down in towards DC for a little while. So good times with that. Next one's Pawpaw's Workshop. If you haven't been looking at Pawpaw's Workshop, who are you talking to? He's been doing some awesome stuff. He's been doing YouTube for really about 2 years, and he's up to 92,000 subscribers. He's been pumping out some work, so God bless that guy. But yeah, he's been doing some really good stuff recently. He's been doing CNC work with maintenance and things that you can look at for maintaining, the screw-based machines and belt-based machines and stuff like that. So he really has been putting in the work, and it definitely shows with his subscriber count. And his videos are good. They give you the information that you need to know. So definitely check him out and see how he's doing. Rainfall Projects. Anybody watch this guy? If you're not, the guy is a real great craftsman. His latest video was doing spray booms for his tractor. He did use the CNC plasma a little bit for that, doing some brackets. But some of the other stuff that he's been doing is just gorgeous. His wife is a bit of an artist. That probably was just really insulting, not meaning to be. But they're doing a camper as well, like renovating an old camper. And he had his wife draw some stuff, and then he CNC'd it into wood that went up onto the ceiling and all that. And really, really cool and inventive ways to use the CNC. The projects that he had done otherwise with his with the plasma and everything, building stuff, metal stuff in for his shop and cabin and stuff like that. It's some beautiful, beautiful artwork, and definitely you should take time to check that one out. So definitely check it out. Next one, where is he at? I think he's in here. Go, Rob Schuster. There he is. There's Rob. So Rob put out this video a couple days ago, and it's a great thing everybody should be checking out. It's an alternative to Oramask. So Oramask is a film, kind of like it's a sticky paper. Put it on a project, carve into it, and then you can paint, and then pull the Oramask off, and be able to not have to sand much or have get paint over everything. I won't spoil his process, but it was really neat, and I really liked how he did it, and that it worked as well as it did was really surprising. I didn't expect it. The other thing he was showing too was ways in VCarve how to minimize nodes. He has as you might be able to see, it's a verse from Amazing Grace. And when he starts the video, he shows you, he just pulls up the A, and the A has like 1,000 nodes on it. And it's not even it's not a big letter. I mean, it's the size of a dime, it looks like. So, but he shows you how to minimize those nodes down, and the process that he went through to go through that whole piece and make it easier on his computer and machine. Oh, there's Rob. There he is. Hey, buddy. I see you down there. There he goes. So, but yeah, it was a good video. I definitely liked it. And before you even mentioned it on the Gatton CNC page yesterday, or today, or is it? Yeah, I guess that was earlier today. Yeah, I already watched it. I'm already ahead of you, buddy. So good job, and look forward to having more on those. And so we got one more to talk about this week, and that's I like to make stuff. He what's his name? I forget his name right offhand. As soon as somebody says it in the comments, I'll be like, yeah, that's right. But anyway, he uses all kinds of stuff to do his projects. The one I really liked recently was he did Mandalorian helmets and showing how to make the how to slightly be able to print a large print on a small 3D printer. Worked out pretty cool. It was a neat little process to go through and be able to put it together. So definitely check those out. He was using Prusa Slicer, which is a free slicer. I'm actually going to be trying it out on the Ender 3 right here. We'll check it out and see if we get anything done with that. So, but anyway, so yeah. So those are the big ones I wanted to go over this week. If anybody has any of them that they want to go, any videos that you see over the next month and you think should be watched by a larger group of people, please send them to rballarddesigns@hotmail.com, and I'll make sure that I include them. And if you don't do that, then a dingo ate your baby. But yeah. Anybody else remember that? That was a good time, especially when they did it on Seinfeld. I guess it wasn't a good time for the lady that the dingo ate her baby, but yeah. So anyway, I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to talk about tonight, but more than happy to. If you got some questions or what have you, I'm not the person to ask. Oh, there we go. There's Mark Lindsay. Oh, he must have heard me talking about him a little while ago. So welcome, Mark. Thanks for showing up, buddy. I appreciate it. Oh, there's Dave Mack. Dave Mack came in. Hey, Dave. How you doing, buddy? So thanks for joining us for this dumpster fire. Definitely appreciate it. So yeah, there we go. Get rid of that. There we go. Let's go back here and we'll just check and see if oh, you're always, there you go, Mark. Looks like I'm just in time to miss you, Ryan. Hey, you miss me all the time, buddy. It's all good. Yeah, well, we actually were talking about your video earlier, and was talking about how everybody should be watching it, and about your thought process of going through the your electrical requirements for your shop and all that good stuff. So very informative, and I very much enjoyed it. So thank you for doing that. So good deal. All right, party people. Well, if nobody else has anything else to say, I really appreciate you joining me for this shit show. We'll try to get better. I don't know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, we don't do it anymore. But I figure we give it a try for a little while and see how it goes. But let me know, and I appreciate it. So if we don't have anything else out there, I think we'll say goodnight. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate the support, man. Keep it real.